Hello and welcome into another edition of Rapid Recap. I am Greg Smith, Senior Recruiting Analyst here at Inside Nebraska. I am joined not by Zach Carpenter, but by staff writer Steve Marik. And before we get into the bad news from the day, because there was plenty, make sure you guys like this video right now. Also, go ahead and subscribe to this YouTube channel. You get these videos dropped directly into your feed. I promise you, they will not all start off as dreadful as this one will, because we've got to talk about injuries, right?
Yeah, Turner Corcoran and Ethan Piper both out for the season. Husker fans know that's two starters on the offensive line. Turner Corcoran at left tackle, very important left tackle position. Ethan Piper at left guard. So that's just another season-ending injury to key players on the offensive side of the ball. Just brutal stuff for the coaching staff. Now Marcus Satterfield is down his starting left tackle, his starting left guard. Today Matt Rhule said that Teddy Prohaska is going to be taken over at left tackle, which kind of makes sense. Since he's been back healthy, he's been sort of just working his way through as a backup, and now he's going to get his chance to start at left tackle, the position that he started at a couple seasons ago as well. At left guard, instead of Ethan Piper, you're going to have Justin Evans-Jenkins, who came in and played the whole second half basically after Ethan got hurt against Northwestern last weekend. Ben Scott, who was also dinged up against the Wildcats, he's fine per Matt Rhule. Tommy Hill is also fine, who also didn't play the second half against Northwestern with an ankle injury, I believe. So just all around brutal injury luck with Matt Rhule. Now the focus shifts to Purdue and how you're just gonna cobble together an offense to move and gain yards and score points. This is just tough stuff right now.
It really is, and as much as I'm going to say that, like, it's so hard, and I feel like we've been saying this for a couple of weeks now. It is so hard to judge what the offense is or isn't and what they're doing, because lost in all of that you just said and all of the season-ending injuries, Marcus Washington, Isaiah Garcia-Castaneda,
and I forgot one. Nori Nueli.
Nori Nueli is also out. I knew there was one more. There's so many.
So starting right guard is going to be out
also
for
out
multiple
as well.
weeks per Matt Rhule. So.
Henry Lutovsky will be the starter in for him at right guard, who we have seen as well, right? And that's the one silver lining about some of this, or at least on the offensive line, is that we've seen all of those guys play this year. Mixed bag as far as results. It feels like a lot of guys, though, that had promise that you're now hoping can really take the reins. And I think that's one thing that Matt Rhule talked about, was that you want to be able to see these guys step up. Like they just have to. He said the reason why we practice the way we do with dual practices and get so many guys reps, we rotate guys in, is so because we know that it's football and guys will go down and they'll have to come in. Now, you don't think it's going to be this. Like, this is an extraordinary amount of injuries. And again, I'll say it again, like, it's why I think that you're just going to have to give Marcus Satterfield, the offensive coordinator, an incomplete for this season, because I just don't know how you fairly judge what they're doing on offense. And oh, by the way, the starting quarterback that they started the season with, he's also hurt. We don't know really still what the actual extent to that is. Like, is he still just way more hurt than they wanted to let on? Or did Heinrich Haarberg just flat out take the job? But even still, Heinrich Haarberg has not played a lot of football himself either. So while you're getting all of these guys kind of acclimated to college football and Big Ten football at that, you've got a quarterback that's pretty green as well. Like, it's all kind of a weird situation.
Yeah, it's Heinrich Haarberg's third season in the program, but it's just his first playing real snaps, and so there's going to be some ups and downs. He's learning on the fly, just like everybody else is who's playing their first college football of their careers. But yeah, this situation on offensive line reminds me of what Marcus Satterfield and Matt Rhule and Heinrich Haarberg were looking at with the receivers, because Marcus Washington goes down, Isaiah Garcia-Castaneda goes down against Minnesota way back in week 0. Now you have all these freshmen playing.
Billy Kemp, did I forget Billy Kemp?
There's another one.
There was another injury.
There are so many injuries right now for Nebraska. It is unreal. Billy Kemp out for multiple weeks, just like Nuri Nueli is going to be out for multiple weeks per Rhule. So not season-ending, but again, they're just going to need to stay off their feet for the next couple games at least, I think Matt Rhule said.
And we did see, so you were saying, though, too, is that, at the wide receiver position, and man, I feel like I'm always saying this. Going back to the summer, we were asking Matt Rhule and Marcus Satterfield and Garrett McGuire when we talked to him about how ready those freshman wide receivers were going to be. And that was out of excitement. People wanted to really see those guys because they brought in 6 of them in the freshman class, and you were like, man, we want to see these guys. You hear that they're fast, you want to see it. Well, fast forward till now, you're going to have to see it, right?
Like
they have to be out there out of necessity. We saw Malachi Coleman score his first touchdown of his career on a really nice play with that belly G option. There we go. I knew I'd get it wrong. Sorry, Tio. But they made that nice play. Jaden Doss has been they're trying to mix him in.
It's got to be tough for him.
It has to be hard
coming
because
off a broken arm.
Came in late. Breaks his arm, misses a ton of practice time, trying to ramp up during the season. And oh, by the way, we need you right now because we think Matt Rhule, I think, said that he would probably be the starting slot. And so they're going to spend the whole week getting him ready to be that starting slot. Jalen Lloyd has also been out there. So it's really the time is now for those freshman wide receivers. I do still think you'll see, as we think about Purdue, you'll see more a big personnel out there, more Thomas Pedoni, more Luke
Rhule even threw out a 14 personnel.
He threw out 14 personnel.
For fans at home, that's awesome. One running back and 4 tight ends out there. So it's going to get a little wild on offense. But now the focus for me at least shifts to the defense. They played lights out against Northwestern. They're going to have to play lights out again just because we don't know what the offense is going to be able to do against Purdue's defense, which hasn't been that good this season. I think Northwestern's defense is tougher than Purdue's defense, but Purdue has an offense. They have a quarterback. They have an offensive coordinator who are capable. They haven't consistently done it of scoring points and gaining yards. So with Hudson Card, he's more of an athlete than I think a lot of people give him credit for. Graham Harrell, obviously his background, former Texas Tech quarterback, calling plays for Ryan Walters now at Purdue. He knows how to find the end zone too. So it's going to be a really interesting matchup on Saturday. A big game for the Huskers if you're looking down the road and trying to squint and see a potential bowl berth with that 6th game. So
basically pick them. The odds came out as basically pick them, which is basically what all of these games are from here on out. We've been saying all of them.
We don't know.
We could probably just write that right now and save it in the drafts. That it's a pick them. But speaking of that defense, though, I have confidence that they'll continue to play it the way that they did. And there's 2 very large human reasons as to why. 2 guys on the defensive line, Nash Hutmacher, Ty Robinson, also both got shout-outs from Matt Rhule today. He said it was a funny story when Matt Rhule was talking about he came out of his post-game press conference and he sees Nash coming in, and he's like, oh, they picked you? Because he didn't know that he even had the 2.5 sacks. So he said it's hard to kind of see that on the fly, but he thought that Ty Robinson played maybe his best game.
One of those sacks from Nash Hutmacher is he should be thanking Ty Robinson because if you go back and watch one of Nash's sacks, Ty kind of just his gravity takes 2 offensive linemen, and that in turn creates a one-on-one matchup for Nash Hutmacher against Northwestern center. Nash won that rep easily, got the sack. So, I think it was pretty cool of Rhule to say the Northwestern game was Ty Robinson's kind of day that might move him up a round or 2 in the NFL draft. That's something to keep an eye on too, because I think Ty Robinson hasn't been flashy. The stats haven't been there, but he's an interior lineman and he's doing a lot of the dirty work that doesn't always get noticed.
That's why it's so unique what Nash is doing. That's why it's so unique that he's been flashing, because you usually just don't have that. Ty's doing the dirty work, and obviously people are noticing that on film. And I do think that, this is not breaking any news, because I think that Matt Rhule kind of snuck this in before. I think that Ty's off to the NFL after this year, and I think it's games like that on Saturday that will help to propel him in that direction. And I think Nebraska's defense will just continue to play as well as they've had. We talked about kind of getting fast forwarded with those wide receivers, and your time is now. We talked about Matt Rhule saying that this is a defensive program and they're going to have to lead the way. Well, welcome to that 100%, as your comrades on the offensive side are basically the walking wounded. So now you have to go out there and dominate each week. Puts a lot of pressure on them, but I think that they are up for the challenge, especially when you think about some of the offenses they will go against the rest of the way, even though Purdue is one of, I guess, the better ones that you're going to face down the stretch.
Tony White, the mentality that he's instilling with his defense, just not worrying about what the offense is doing, not worry about what the scoreboard says, just go out there and play your brand of football, and that's fast, physical, violent, all that good stuff. So
RDV, baby.
Absolutely. So it's the defense is going to be leaned on heavily, as they should, for the remainder of this season. And I'm with you. I really like how they're playing, and when you look at the offenses that they're going to be going up against, it looks pretty good if you're a Nebraska fan. So.
Yeah, tough day with the injury news, but we will have full coverage of that and more on InsideNebraska.com. Make sure you pop over there. Again, make sure you like this video. Tell a friend as well. Go ahead and subscribe to this YouTube channel so you can get those videos dropped directly into your feed, and we'll catch you guys later.